If you've ever wondered what it's like to survive in a shrinking battlefield with powerful heroes and unique abilities, this game has a lot going for it. But let's be real, it's not perfect, and there are some things you need to watch out for. In SUPERVIVE, you and your squad of 3 hunters drop into a huge map filled with loot, enemies, and danger. Your goal is simple: be the last team standing. To do that, you'll need to gather items, upgrade your character, and outsmart other squads. It's like a mix of Battle Royale games with a sprinkle of hero-based gameplay, where each character or hunter has unique abilities that can completely change how you play. For example, some hunters can heal teammates, while others are built for pure damage. You get to choose which hunter fits your style, and how you combine abilities with your squad mates is what makes the game so fun, or frustrating if you don't plan ahead. The match starts with your squad deciding where to drop on the map. Some areas have better loot, but are risky because other teams might land there too. Safer areas might let you build up your gear, but you risk being underpowered later. This balance of risk and reward is something SUPERVIVE nails. Once you land, it's all about scavenging. You find weapons, gear, and items to boost your character's abilities. But here's the twist: there's always a storm closing in, shrinking the map. It forces you and the other squads to keep moving and fighting. So camping in one spot isn't really an option. Combat is fast and tactical. Hunters have abilities that can make or break a fight. For example, one hunter can drop a shield that protects the team, while another can launch an attack that stuns enemies. If you and your squad work together, you can pull off some amazing plays. But if you don't, things can go south fast. Let's talk about the good stuff. The battles in SUPERVIVE are exciting. When you're in a fight, the game feels alive. The abilities are cool and let you experiment with different strategies. Maybe you want to trap enemies in a small area or heal your teammates while they do the heavy lifting. There's a lot of room to be creative. The movement is another highlight. You can dash, jump, and even glide to get around the map. It's smooth and it makes the game feel fast. Outmaneuvering an enemy squad or catching someone mid-glide is super satisfying. Reviving teammates is also a great feature. If you lose a squad member, it's not game over. You can bring them back, which keeps the match alive and gives you a fighting chance even if things go wrong. The hunters themselves are a big plus. Each one feels unique, and there's probably a hunter for every kind of player. Do you like getting in close and personal? There's a hunter for that. Prefer staying back and picking enemies off from a distance? You're covered. But let's not ignore the flaws. First off, SUPERVIVE is not easy to pick up. If you're new, the game throws a lot at you. Managing abilities, finding the best loot, keeping track of the storm, and fighting other squads. It's overwhelming. The tutorial doesn't do a great job of easing you in, so your first few matches might feel like you're just getting wrecked without knowing why. Another issue is the pacing. While the fights are intense, the moments between them can drag. You'll spend a lot of time running around looking for items or just waiting for something to happen. For some players, this downtime is a nice break. For others, it's just boring. Balancing is also a bit off. Some hunters feel overpowered, while others don't seem as useful. This can make matches feel unfair, especially if you're up against a squad that knows how to exploit those stronger abilities. And then there's the matchmaking. Sometimes you'll end up in a match with players way above your skill level. It's frustrating to get crushed by experienced squads when you're just trying to figure out the basics. So, is SUPERVIVE worth your time? If you like games that mix strategy, teamwork, and action, you might really enjoy it. The combat is satisfying, and the unique abilities of each hunter add a layer of depth that makes every match feel different. But if you're someone who gets easily frustrated or doesn't have the patience to learn a complex game, SUPERVIVE might not be for you. The learning curve is steep, and the pacing issues can make it hard to stay engaged. That's a wrap on SUPERVIVE. If you're into games like Vampire Survivors and love the thrill of surviving endless waves of enemies, you won't want to miss it. Click the link to watch and see what all is about.